Hi, this is Sarah, and I want to talk to you about the reason that it's so important that we identify and assess our cultural assumptions, our inherent beliefs, and our values, and whether or not they're appropriate for us right now, today. So, the place to start, I guess, is to share with you that between the ages of 0 and 7, we are literally taking in information from all around us without any question whatsoever. We are just accepting that everything is true. So that means that the belief systems and the values of our family and our broader family and our immediate society are literally pouring into our brains, and we're just saying to ourselves, yes, that's true. And we don't really start to question until we get to around the age of 6, 7, 8, where we start to integrate more with the outside world. We start to form relationships with teachers and other friends at school. We mix with more people, and this is the point that we start to question. So before that, just imagine the amount of information that goes into your brain between the ages of 0 and 7. It's immense. So, what's the impact of that? Well, consider this. If your parents are sharing with you the values that are very similar to their parents, and perhaps your grandparents shared with your parents the values that were very similar to their parents, it could be that you are operating off values, beliefs, strategies that are nigh on 100 years old. And it's a bit like trying to apply the mechanics of a horse and cart to a Tesla. It's not always appropriate, and there will be some emotional fallout. Also, we will create behavioural extremes, or what we call behavioural polarities. So, for example, let's say you have an idea that you are a very responsible person, and responsibility is an important value to you. Now, if there is any conflict internally with that, then the interrelated pair, or the opposite, the polar opposite of responsibility, which might be irresponsibility, or if we take it a step outwards, it might be childish behaviour or reckless behaviour, that may actually manifest in your behaviour when you're stressed, or when you just decide that you've had enough of something. So it's also learning to identify how your behaviour is impacted by your cultural assumptions and by your inherent deep-rooted unconscious values and beliefs. So the first step is to really identify what those values and beliefs are, because to be quite frank, most of us don't really know until we open up the box and look at it, because we took them on unconsciously without question, and they're so deep-rooted, they're just driving our behaviour. Now, if we have any conflict with an inherent deep-rooted value, belief, or cultural assumption to our conscious values, beliefs, and cultural assumptions now, this creates an extreme behaviour. It also impacts our ability to cope on a day-to-day basis. It may actually create an underlying feeling of stress or a lack of wholeness. And this is really why it's so important that we do this work, in order to step outside of some of those really deeply rooted unconscious values and beliefs. And by the way, if you're questioning whether you have any conflicts, I guess the question you want to ask is, do I ever behave in a way that feels extreme? And what I mean by that is, do I ever behave in a way that's outside of my cultural values or my personal values, and then wonder, how on earth did that happen? Why did I choose to do that? That isn't actually me. And if you have any behaviour or any things that you say that you think, wow, that's really not me, I don't know why I did that, then actually that is a result of a conflict inside of yourself that can be resolved. And obviously, I'm sure you know, when we do behave in ways that are uncomfortable for us or don't feel like us, actually we don't feel so good afterwards. So it would be really nice if we can dig in there and identify any conflicts that we have, just to allow you to feel more at ease, to feel more like yourself all of the time. And that's what Farcical Life is really all about.